Our buddy, Aaron Murray. Aaron, what's up, man?
I don't know if I was joining a football show, a skating show this morning, making sure I'm in the right spot.
It's a little bit of everything.
Man.
It's a little bit of everything, man. It's kind of what it's like The Sims. It's your world. Just build it how you want.
I love it. I love it. What's up? Good morning, fellas.
Good morning. Appreciate you getting up with us, man. I want to. What we want to do, Aaron, and we've done this with one guest before. So we came up with our top 12. I know you can see this. Our top 12 and what it would look like with a 12-team playoff right now. All right, and I just want to make sure our audience understands that we had Ole Miss at number 12. But in the new rules for the 12-team format, a group of 5 team has to be in there at the 12 spot. They don't have to be at the 12 spot, but we put UCF to the 12 spot. That's the way it worked out. So Ole Miss would not be in the playoffs. Sorry, guys. Y'all can continue to pile on me. That's totally fine. I'm here for it. Scared money don't make no money. But, Aaron, top 4 getting a bye from the highest 4-ranked conference champions. So Georgia, Ohio State, TCU, and Clemson. You want to go through and make some predictions with us on this?
Let's go, baby. Come on.
Let's do it. LSU and Alabama. Oh,
Rematch.
boy.
Neutral
I'm
site.
already sold. I'm absolutely already sold.
Wait, hold on. Would this be a rematch or would this be our first round games at
This will be on campus.
This will be on campus.
Yeah.
On campus.
Yeah, it'll be on campus. So at Bama,
Ooh.
LSU going to Bama. I've got to go Bama here. I don't think lightning can strike twice. Not that it was such a crazy outcome, but LSU did catch some breaks. Bryce Young with the early pick kind of kept them in it a little bit. Didn't have them falling off a cliff. I'm going to go Alabama here, David. Who are you going with?
Would it be in Baton Rouge?
In Baton Rouge, I'm sorry. Loses
Baton
my mind.
Rouge.
I'm looking at the team in the bottom. I'm so used to the NCAA tournament.
Look, man, I really thought LSU had a chance to beat them the first time. I ended up being right, even though I did take Alabama to win the game. Look, man, I don't think you could beat Alabama twice in a year.
It's tough. It's tough.
Bama.
It's like trying to beat your dad up twice in the same year. You're only going to be able to sneak him once. Blaine, who do you got?
Who does Bryce Young play for?
Yeah, Alabama.
Yeah, give me Bama.
Aaron, who you going with? Bama at LSU round 2 in round 1.
I'm going to go with LSU in this one.
Ooh,
Once again,
I like this.
I think what we've seen all year long is the importance of home field advantage. So the game back in Baton Rouge, and I just love Harold Perkins at linebacker. I know you guys do too. You know what he does to eliminate mobile quarterbacks and what Bryce Young does well at quarterback. Like I just don't trust the receivers at Alabama. I've said it from this offseason throughout the year. They're just not good enough to win in a conventional way. Like they need Bryce to be Superman. They need Bryce to create time in the pocket. They need him to run around making guys miss. And as we've seen in the game versus Alabama, and then obviously we saw last week with LSU, Harold Perkins will just demolish any type of quarterback. So I think round 2, it'd be kind of the same thing, if not better, for LSU to slow down Alabama's offense as LSU continues to get better on that side of the football. So I'm just not sold on Alabama this year at all. I think they're a good team, not a great team. I think LSU would win once again in a rematch.
It'd be crazy. And people say, oh, well, you put all the SEC teams in one corner. That's the way the top 12 worked out. Now, would the committee finagle that? I don't know. I'm not, I don't have enough money or know enough people to be able to get back in those rooms with a cigar and a map of Europe and figure out how this is going to go down, all right? But, Aaron, if we'll go, obviously, majority rule here. Let's say Alabama moves on to play Georgia. Alabama and Georgia, I'm going to go with the Dogs.
I'm interested to see you, Aaron.
I'm going with the Dogs. Aaron, who are you going with?
I'm going with Georgia. Georgia's the best team in the country. They're the most complete team in the country. Like there is not another team. And I was actually thinking about this yesterday and talking with T-Bob about it. Like Ohio State, obviously, a little bit one-dimensional running the football. I want to see what they look like versus Michigan. Defensively, they seem to be improved, but we're not sure. Michigan's a little bit one-dimensional. Great defensive team can run it, but I just don't trust JJ. Like there isn't another team that is complete on both sides of the football. And Georgia's had their moments this year where they've not been great running it, but I still trust that offense. And then obviously really, really trust what they're doing on the defense side of the football. I don't know, man. Not to go too far ahead in this whole playoff scenario right now, but like I don't see anyone slowing down Georgia going forward this season. Like when they turn it on, as we've seen it at various moments in this year, they're just hard to beat. So yeah, my Dogs take care of business. And plus, man, they ain't scared of Alabama anymore. Like they got that monkey off their back last year. I think Georgia walked into the game feeling like, hey, we are the big dogs in the conference and we're the big dogs in the country, similar to what Alabama has, had that mental advantage for the past decade plus.
Yeah, well, to use our buddy T-Bob's favorite movies reference Star Wars. Seems like Georgia does have the high ground now. But I want to ask you this real quick, Aaron, on Georgia. I've said this multiple times. I firmly believe, and people think I'm crazy, I would much rather, if I was having to face a Georgia team, face last year's Georgia team than this year's Georgia team. Because I feel like this year's Georgia team can beat me in more ways than that team last year. And I know Nakobe Dean was a freak, all right? I know Jordan Davis was a freak. But I would much rather have to play a team that I know there are more narrow paths for them to be able to beat me than a team now that's more open. Todd Monken, I think, has opened it up this year like he wanted to a little bit last year. Stetson's playing with nothing to lose. He's a hero forever. Could have lost every game this year and still built a statue of him. But do you feel the same way, or do you think I'm reaching there?
No, I don't think you're reaching all. And I'll take it a step further when you talk about the offense for Georgia. I think Georgia's offense is more difficult to game plan against than, say, even Tennessee's offense. You know, what Tennessee does, I'm just talking about game plan. I'm not saying going against, but just game planning wise. Tennessee's offense, the reason why it's, most of the time it's so successful, it's the tempo, it's the width at which they play. It makes it really tough on a defense to kind of like, hey, do we put enough guys in the box? Do we put more guys on the edges against the pass? It puts you in a bind. But when it comes to prep wise, it's kind of like, okay, this is our plan. This is what we're going to do. When you look at Monken this season, and he did it last year too, the formations, the personnel groups, the motions, the shifts, the getting in the bunch, the moving Bowers around, the moving Darnell around, like it is an absolute nightmare for a defensive, coordinator and a defense to communicate everything that's going on. Like you're going from 11 to 12 to 13 personnel, to 21 personnel, to, like I said, tight ends being flexed around, backs being moved around. It's a lot that he's throwing at defenses each and every week. So like, man, I've absolutely loved what he's doing. And they're doing all this without their best receiver. Like I keep saying every week, like AD could be back this week. AD could be back next week. You put him into the fold along with how well Ladd's playing, how well the tight ends are playing, and obviously the confidence in which Stetson has played with this entire season. Yeah, I'm with you, man. This is a more complete team on both sides. And I think their defense, too, in the secondary, you could say is probably better this year than they were last year. Like their front seven last year, hands down, was tremendous. I still think Jalen was the best player on defense last year. He's the best defensive player on the team this year. But their secondary is more experienced. And obviously having Starks back there as a freshman and how high, what he's playing like right now against offenses that want to throw the football, I think honestly is a better matchup in today's game compared to having a dominant front seven.
I agree with you 100%. All right, do we agree Georgia gets by Bama here, makes the Final Four?
Yeah.
We're in agreement there. All right, let's go down bottom left. If you're on audio, just go to YouTube, open your eyes, you can see this as well. All right, Tennessee versus Oregon, the 5 versus 11 matchup. Cone, this would be magically delicious.
And Oregon is a very good football team. I think they run formation to the boundary as well as anyone in the country. But I think on the road in Knoxville, which is where this game would hypothetically be, I would go with Tennessee. It's not as simple as saying, well, they share a common opponent and Georgia beat Oregon 49-3 and Tennessee kept it closer. It's not that simple, but you do have to take it into consideration. I'd take the Volunteers.
I'm with you on that. I think Tennessee just scores too many. Not that Oregon's not going to score. Obviously, Bo Nix has really elevated his game. The completion percentage is just totally flipped from where it was at Auburn. He's playing in the pocket, through the pocket, which has made him much more efficient. We all know how athletic he is. Give me Tennessee. Blaine.
Close game. Both the defense don't show up. Give me Hendon Hooker in Tennessee.
Aaron, Tennessee hosting Oregon. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Tennessee all day. And Nealon and Bo's fared well in the Pac-12. And listen, I liked Bo last year at Auburn. I thought he took massive steps in the right direction. Just didn't have a lot of talent around him, and that really hurt. So I've always known and felt that, like, man, he has the potential to be great, and we've seen those moments this year. But he has struggled against the SEC. So coming all the way from the West Coast to the East Coast, and Neyland, we've seen how terrible that place is to play at for opponents this season. I take Tennessee, but I agree with you guys. Like, it's going to be a great game, high-scoring game. The one thing you want to do, take the over. It's going to be like a 55-50 game for sure.
Can you imagine that atmosphere? The Vol Navy for that game? Oh my gosh!
Not really.
I don't know how I've coached there. The ground shakes. That's how loud it gets. I don't know how you can stay up when you're running. All right, so Tennessee versus TCU. This is another great matchup. All right, so Max Dugan. It's a great story. We always talk about what's another great story. Hansel and Gretel, Little Red Riding Hood. We know what happened to them. TCU's found a way to win. Love their wide receiver room. Absolutely love their wide receiver room. They got tall guys that can run, short guys that can fly, middle guys that can do both. They're exciting to me, but I like the way they've won games defensively too, including at Texas on the road, a big one they had to get over the hump. But Hendon Hooker's the difference to me. All right, like I said, the most dangerous hooker since Eileen Warno, so I'm going to stick with it. I think Tennessee finds a way to win this game. Maybe a little more low scoring than what people thought, but I like Tennessee in this game. Blaine, who do you like?
I like Tennessee. TCU, cool story. Defense, terrible. Max Duggan.
Terrible?
Yeah, they're giving up 44 points a game.
10 to Texas.
What about the rest of the season?
They're undefeated.
They stepped up against Texas.
I don't think they're terrible.
Okay,
they're
step
not
up
good.
one game.
They're not good, but they're not terrible.
You step up one game out of the season, and it's fixed, guys.
Let me show you a terrible
It's
defense.
When they needed to.
Let me show you a terrible defense. Look at North Carolina. That's
terrible defense. Yeah, terrible defense. I mean, TCU, North Carolina, Spider-Man.
Well, North Carolina makes TCU
Spider-Man diff. Oh, what? What's the difference?
I think the one we're about to get to up there, North Carolina and USC, that's Spider-Man gif.
Yeah, that's true.
The TCU's defense is just as bad as North Carolina. North Carolina's a little worse and just as bad as USC's. Go through their throughout the year. Like statistically, they are just as bad as those teams.
They give up 40 points to App State in the fourth quarter.
No, let's do this. We're gonna do this.
Aaron, what do you think?
No. Let's do this
on TCU's defense there.
I'm not sold on their defense. I was more the feeling of like Ewers should have been benched last week. I mean, we've seen him twice this season. Kind of look like the game was happening way too fast for him, just late on throws. And I'm surprised Sark didn't. I mean, Sark should have benched him weeks ago in that the previous loss. I thought you go to Hudson Card and let him go out there and play the second half. They had opportunity to win that game. And I think they should have gone to him this game as well. So, I mean, yes, TCU, great job. You stopped Bijan, but I think the first thing is first. Like, if you know that Quinn Ewers just isn't performing, stack the box, stop the run. And Quinnen just, to me, like I said, the game is happening a little bit too fast for him right now. I think if he comes out and struggles the next week or two, I think you just say, hey, man, like, get your butt on the bench, relax. We'll get you ready for next season and that quarterback competition against Manning. So, but no, it was impressive to see TCU come out there and do their thing. But Tennessee, man, I think Tennessee and Hendon Hooker would run, laps around those guys. I think they win. I think they win kind of big too.
Okay, I think they win as well. I don't think it's big though. I think that could be an overtime type of game. I mean, Tennessee's defense isn't that great either, but I do think it would be a good matchup.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good matchup, and that's what this comes down to. All right, I'm going to speed this up a little bit. All right, so we got Georgia and Tennessee meeting again in the Final Four. USC versus North Carolina in a game where I don't know if there's enough light bulbs on the scoreboard to be able to hold what would happen, but I think the difference, Drake May versus Caleb Williams. Holy hell, what a matchup. Wow. You know what, guys? Give me North Carolina.
You'll take North Carolina.
Give me North Carolina in this one. Travis Dye, unfortunately, got hurt for USC. Not that Jones or the third running back, can't remember his name, he can actually absolutely fly. But give me North Carolina in this one. Drake May, who's got thrown off more platforms than Motley Crue. Give me North Carolina.
I think that kid is amazing, man. Could potentially even win the Heisman this year. I think, like we said, North Carolina's defense actually pitched a shutout against Wake Forest in the fourth quarter this past go-round. Both of these teams are about to face their toughest competition yet. I think Southern Cal would find a way to win.
Blaine?
Give me USC. I think USC's just got a little bit more weapons. I don't know, Drake May, he can do as much as he can, but I don't think it'll be enough. A healthy, other than Travis Dye, I mean, you still got Jordan Addison. You got Go Crazy Mario.
He's going to start balling, though.
So give me USC.
Like, Jordan Addison's got to start showing up a little bit, man. Aaron, what do you think?
No, I agree. I like USC in this one. I mean, you're talking about I think right now, two of the best quarterbacks in the country. If I had to rank the Heisman, I'd go 1, Caleb, 2, Drake at the moment. They're just playing at high levels, but I think USC, because of the weapons, takes this one. But it'd be an epic game. Like, this would be like a USC Texas national championship type game. Whoever has the ball last is going to win it.
That's exactly right. All college football fans win in these matchups anyway. All right, so USC wins by default. USC versus Ohio State. Give me Ohio State.
Buckeyes.
Too physical on defense. Too physical in general. I think USC will be able to score some points, but I like the Buckeyes. Gravity and physics takes over.
Buckeyes.
Aaron?
Buckeyes all day.
You love to see it. All right, let's go down. Michigan versus UCF. All right, Gus, you finally made the playoff, bud. You finally made the playoff. Best of luck against Michigan and the big guys from 7 Foot Island over there up front. Give me Michigan. John Reese Plumlee. can't throw the ball. I don't see a way in which I love Travis Williams as the DC. I just don't think they have the Jims and Joes to stop Michigan. Blake Corum runs for over 200 yards.
Ooh, I like
McCarthy
that.
Runs for over 100 yards.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's one of those.
How about Donovan Edwards?
Donovan Edwards he's going to hang out too. So give me Michigan beating UCF.
Well, the thing
you like.
Go ahead.
Give me Michigan, but close.
Oh,
Really?
Real close. You wanna go
Okay,
close.
Real close.
No, because here's the thing. UCF already understands that even if they don't win the national championship, they can still claim that they're national champions.
For sure, that's
So
exactly
they know
right.
that
They're good at
that is an option, so they can take that. Give me the Michigan Wolverines big.
Aaron.
Oh, they embarrassed them. There's no doubt about it. Like this is a, especially in Michigan, late in the season.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
gonna be cold.
In Ann Arbor.
Yeah, those boys
Come on up.
Not a lot of
Boys.
Michiganders on that UCF team either.
Yeah, they're going to be freezing. They're not going to want to come out of the locker room. So Michigan will just beat them up at the line of scrimmage and roll in a really big way versus the Knights.
All right, so they'd move on. Clemson,
We were talking
Michigan,
about this one for a while.
to
this
see
season.
who's going to play
Battle of the Under.
Ohio State. I don't trust DJU. I don't think Cade Klubnik's ready to go win a game like this. So give me Michigan, J.J. McCarthy, Blake Corum, the gang. I think this is a low-scoring game. I think this is a low-scoring, maybe a 24-17 type game, maybe 21-17 type game. Give me Michigan to win it, DJU with a big pick 6 at the end.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think, despite the quarterback carousel there in Clemson, they still have a legitimate shot to make this college football playoff, and Dabo Swinney has proven when he makes the playoff, he can do some serious damage. I do think in this football game, though, I would take Michigan.
Fine.
Give me Michigan. Take the under for sure. There might be a total of 14 points in this game, but give me Michigan.
Aaron, who you like?
I don't know. Look what Notre Dame did to Clemson. I think Michigan could do the same thing. Like I'm not like we hyped up this Clemson defense to start the year off like this is the one of the best D lines we've ever seen, and I think they've been good. Don't get me wrong, and they're still one of the top ones out there. But like they have not been to the elite level that I was expecting to start the season. I think both quarterbacks for Clemson aren't good. Like I know you've kind of been on the bench DJU, put Cade in there.
Might as
I don't
well.
think Cade's good at all. Like Cade is not ready to play football. Like DJU, I'm sorry, is the best option on that Clemson football team to finish the season out. Is he good? No, but he's better than what Cade can go out there and produce at the moment. I think you got to stick with DJU going forward. But no, Michigan's going to be able to run the football. They're going to be able to stop him on defense. I think Michigan wins a low-scoring game. I think like 21-10 type football game.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Yeah, and look, I'm going to give Dabo a pass. He hit on a lot of quarterbacks. This is really the first one he's kind of missed on.
I don't know if we really.
And he even had
enough of
flashes.
Cade to know. What he can really.
Well, it's again. I think he had the opportunity, a couple weeks ago to go in there and against Syracuse, got the benefit of some penalties. But all right, let's finish this bad boy out. Georgia versus Tennessee, Ohio State versus Michigan. Ooh. God is good. That is fantastic. Give me Georgia to play Ohio State in the national championship game. I've got Georgia winning it back to back. Athens, don't burn it down, but let's party.
Blaine.
Give me Georgia versus Ohio State in
Okay.
the national championship game, and give me Ohio State.
Wow.
National.
Really?
Wow.
CJ Stroud, that
Okay.
receiver crew,
Marvin Harrison Jr.
They beat Georgia
God versus Malachi Starks. Somebody
by a
stop
field
me.
goal, late field goal.
Aaron, go ahead.
It's interesting, this whole exercise right now. We get to who I believe are the top 4 teams in America at the moment: Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, and Tennessee. And unfortunately, I don't think it's going to get like that. Michigan, who I think is going to lose to Ohio State in a close game in a couple weeks or a week and a half, probably going to be on the outside looking in because of their weak schedule they've had this season. But there's no doubt, like, these are the 4 best teams in America. So, like, I feel like if everyone ran through this exercise, we would all kind of get to the same conclusion. Like, hey, it is Georgia, it's Ohio State, it's Michigan, and it's Tennessee as the 4 teams that could possibly win a natty. I am really interested in the Tennessee rematch against Georgia at a neutral site. I think Tennessee's better than what we saw in Athens. I think Hendon would play a better game. I think it'd be more competitive, but I will go with Georgia to win it. And then I'll stick with Ohio State to win in that rematch as well. So Georgia, Ohio State. And of course, give me my dogs to win. Like I said, they're more complete on both sides. Ohio State's benefited on defense from not really playing a lot of elite offenses this year. They're better. I don't think they're elite. And if you can't run the football and you're one-dimensional, as Georgia's proven this whole year, they will just eat you up on the defense side of the football. So give me the dogs in a great national championship.
Cone, tell us.
The dogs.
What?
And the Michigan Wolverines in the championship for a rematch of last season. And Jim Harbaugh, he goes into that national championship. He walks in there and he defies the odds. And he covers that spread.
There you go. What would that spread be?
A lot.
Hey, I will say this one thing. Like, I think every Georgia fan right now is praying Michigan beats Ohio State in a week and a half, because I just think Michigan's a good team. Don't get me wrong. Like, I like them. I think they're a top 4 team. I think they deserve to be in there. But I've said it before. Like, they to me are like a poor man's version of Georgia. Like, they want to be Georgia, but they're just not as athletic and they're not as good. And we saw that last year in the first round of the playoffs. And I think if Michigan does win versus Ohio State and Ohio State gets left out, I think you might as well just crown Georgia the national championships at that point.
Yeah, I do think from a roster standpoint, Ohio State does have a much higher ceiling with some of the playmakers that they have. Now, Jackson Smith and Jigba's been hurt. Marvin Harrison Jr. to me is the best wide receiver in the country. I haven't seen a better one than him. And I said wide receiver. Brock Bowers is a tight end who I'll continue to say it. I think he's more athletic than Travis Kelce. I'll say it. I'm not afraid to say it. I'll scream it from the mountaintop.
Wow.
I think he's that good. We'll see. Okay, we'll see.
Right now, he's more athletic.
No, I'm talking about when he gets in the NFL and he gets in a system. I think they may have him at 4 different positions. They're two different players.
Yeah.
They're 2 different players. I think you can do more things with Brock Bowers. I really think you can.
Hey, I don't know. So I was with Travis for 2 years.
Oh, he's a freak too, Aaron. I don't want people to think I'm not saying. He's on my fantasy team. Hell, I drafted him second.
No. What I'm trying to get to is they're very different. Like, Travis has a lot more wiggle to him. Like, Travis has some moves and he can bend in ways you're like, damn, like, that 6'4", tight end / receiver should not be able to get that low to the ground. I think that's his difference. Like, there's that shake to him. Bowers to me is more straight line speed. He's faster, maybe a little bit more physical. Well, Travis can block now. So I don't know. I would take either one of them, but I will say, like, they're better at different things. So it depends on what your offense is. But I mean, shoot, I was in Kansas City when Travis really got going, and that was really when the tight end body started getting moved around a lot. Like, he would move to receiver, he would motion out, he'd be in the backfield. Andy Reid has done a tremendous job with really developing him into the premier tight end in the NFL right now.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's a great problem to have. You'd love to have both of them. I'd love to see Andy Reid with Brock Bowers and Travis. That'd be unfair. Like, at some point, you just got to give it to God, I guess. But Aaron, I really appreciate it, my friend. It's always great stuff when we have you on. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Yeah. So ESPN, I'm with ESPN this year. It's been great. Obviously, you talked about it earlier. T-Bob and I got a great show we do every day in the afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern. It's called Snaps. As you guys know, T-Bob just, keeps me on my toes. He's a wild man. And then I do a little Sirius XM SEC channel from 3 to 6 every afternoon as well. So staying busy. And then getting ready to, at any moment now, my wife's about to pop out number 2. So
congrats. Congrats.
Me too, buddy.
Yeah, you and Cutter are in the same boat over here. Hey, everybody, right now, whatever you're doing, unless you're driving, go hit that subscribe button to Crane & Company and turn that notification bell on, so every time we drop content, which is all the time, we drop more content than Packers receivers drop passes, you'll be able to find us.